Episode 6, E squared. Some of you guys might not know this, but I am E squared. I am. Okay, so right off rip. Hold up. Let's go. Yo, Uber Waffles, what's up? So if you guys haven't noticed, this is in like a stream format because we also do. How do I delete this? Whatever. Okay, so we do this on Twitch, and we stream. I've been streaming hella like fucking video games. We got a little Minecraft server going on. You know, we got a little community. We got a Discord, all that kind of good stuff. So if you're interested, hop on, find the links on the link tree. Like they're pretty easy to find, to be honest, on the E Squared IG, E Squared TikTok, E the first what do you call it? IG, all that. You can hop on. We play games. Like we have crazy discussions in chat. A lot of crazy, colorful characters end up showing up. It's a pretty dope thing. As you know, House of Johal. Use code E2 for 20% discount on the merch. We have 2 styles right now. Check it out while supplies last. These are also limited drops. Like they won't come back around for a long time. So like if you fuck with it, you might as well like get it now because it's not going to be there most likely in the near future. And it's like super limited runs. So I would suggest you guys going and copying that. And seeing if you like it and whatnot. I've been asking a lot of the people in the chat, what to talk about next. And whatnot. It's so crazy because I have this like crazy pod list of things I want to get into. And I just don't even end up getting into it. Because we just start talking so much shit. And things just randomly go. And I originally was going to do 2 episodes a week. But I think letting the episode breathe is a lot better. 1 episode is pretty fire. Last week we had the whole Warrior Boys thing. And we talked about some Punjabi movies and stuff. And maybe we'll comment on another Punjabi movie again. I've been seeing a lot of hate comments on like... And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I talked about this in the last episode or maybe the one before that, which is like... There's a curve that exists of like how Canadians and Western culture is going to view you. And right now, because of like whatever students, there's a lot of like weird bootlicking happening where I see people in the comments being like, it's their country, they must follow the rules and stuff like that. But it's like, if you're not breaking the laws, you're following the rules. It's just that simple. And if you're breaking the laws, then, you get arrested, you get deported or whatever. But, I mean, there's no mass arrests happening for students. So this idea that, like, you must follow the rules, like, this is why, like, we low-key can't assimilate or coexist properly with these gore and whatnot because... Or even these people who like suck the gore off, because we live in completely different worlds where what the governments and COVID was an amazing example of this, right? Where you saw people... I should try to have like a background going. I'll just do this. Where you saw people during COVID literally go, hey, this is what the government says. If the government says it, then it's right. We don't care about the science or whatever. The government is saying this kind of stuff, and a lot of people ended up just going cuckoo about following government mandates and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was a psyop, exactly. And so COVID ended up becoming this... COVID perfectly illustrated to you that like turbo normies will destroy you. If you look at like any real situation in history, it's never like a group of like it's never this crazy like cabal of people. Yeah, there's like a dark group of people maybe behind the scenes doing like conspiratorial things and pulling the strings, quote unquote. But usually it's the uninformed majority being influenced by the informed minority that end up going batshit crazy on everybody else. There's this book. Now we can go back to Google. It's called The Banality of Evil. Oh my god. My typing skills need to get a lot better. Book. Okay. So this is a really crazy story about Israel. Adolf Eichmann. I'll get into that. So Adolf Eichmann was they called him the architect of the final solution because he was basically the logistics manager of all the trains going to Auschwitz and all over Poland and like the death camps and whatnot. And there's a movie about this. It's called it's called Conspiracy, actually. LOL. Conspiracy movie. It's right here. This movie, right here. Yeah, this movie. It's a pretty wild movie. That's basically about the Wannsee conference, I believe it's called, where like high level German leaders, including like Reinhard Heydrich, Adolf Eichmann, and like a whole bunch of other people met up to basically like figure out what the final solution was going to be. And they implemented and basically start doing the whole extermination of the Jews and the Romanians and the non-desirables of the world, or of their worldview, let's say. And in the and so then what ends up happening is like Reinhardt, and throughout the war, some of these guys die. Some of them get tried at the Nuremberg trials. So after World War II, these trials happened called the Nuremberg trials, where they took like the amount of people that they still had from the high command or whatever, like, you know, Göring, the guy of the Luftwaffe, Rudolf Hess, like all these characters, Martin Bormann, and they basically were on trial. A bunch of them got hung to death, and it was just like a mixed bag of like, most of them basically got tried, and every single one of their excuses was, I'm a soldier, I did what like my orders are, type shit. One sec. And that was like basically the cop out that they had. Like for crimes against humanity, they're like, I was told to do so. I had no choice. I was in this position. I have to, you know, do my duty, quote unquote. And then everybody else, like the judges, whatever, they just didn't buy it. But a little known thing that some people don't know about is like a lot of Nazis did dip out to Argentina, because I think Argentina was pretty like buddy with the Nazi regime. And so, coming back to the Banality of Evil, Adolf Eichmann, the architect of the final solution that they called him, I think that's just like also propaganda. Like I don't think he was the architect. I think other people were the architect. I think this guy was just like, finally they got some high-ranking guy who was highly responsible because he was in charge of like the logistics and stuff. Like he basically ferried all these Jews to their death. What the Israelis did is, so when Israel was born, like they were on some like, yo, we're gonna fuck Germany up, we're gonna fuck all these guys up. And so like one of the plans was they were gonna like poison the water supply in Germany to kill everybody. Not everybody, but like a crazy amount of the population. But then that never ended up happening. But they were like pretty choked about the Holocaust, right? Which is probably why you can make the solution of like this whole like the Jews are, you know, in, you know, up to some things behind the scenes, is probably because of how like gnarly that whole situation was for them. And the Mossad, which is the secret agency of Israel, they started going around capturing people that were like part of this. Like, so they tried to hunt down Joseph Mengele, the Angel of Death, who was like a doctor at Auschwitz who did like crazy fucked up experiments. Like he would like, let's look at some of the crazy stuff he did. Crazy experiments of Joseph Mengele. Yeah, so what kind of... This is like literally like on some, like a Saw movie. He would have inmates that were doctors assist him with the experiments. Dyes would be injected into the eyes of brown-eyed children with the intention of creating blue eyes. One of the most famous and shocking of the photos of test subjects are two Romani children who were essentially sewn together to supposedly create Siamese twins. These two girls developed infections as a result of this procedure. Mengele was opportunist. They did all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, they were like testing the effects of like no air pressure or something. So they created like a zero like vacuum air chamber. They'd throw Jews in there, and they would go. It would. I read a book. It was like so maddening that they'd literally like pull their face off. Like they'd scratch their face off to try to kill themselves because of how agonizing it was. I mean, he would like take off like body parts of people and sew them on other people. Like it was so fucking weird and dark. Like literally like some real life horror shit that like you just couldn't see. So anyways, the Mossad starts tracking down all these ex-Nazis all across the world, and they find Adolf Eichmann in Argentina. And so they do this crazy thing. They violate international law and international borders and all types of wild shit. They take Adolf Eichmann, they fucking smuggle him to Israel to put him on trial. Okay? And so this was like one of the first most famous televised trial. Like you can watch it. So Adolf Eichmann trial. And there's been a couple movies about it. There's been one on there was one on what's it called? Netflix. I think it's called Operation Finale or some shit. And there's a few other ones. And so the whole trial is like available to watch on, and this is the movie I'm talking about, this one, Operation Finale. But like it's pretty crazy. It's like pretty sad. There's two movies that were basically made about this one and then this other one where they basically, it's all about the trial. And at first people didn't really care, but then when the testimonies of people who survived the Holocaust and stuff started coming out, then people were just like, holy fuck, like this is some crazy shit. This is insanity. And so basically Adolf Eichmann, so now back to the Banality of Evil. We came all the way back. The Banality of Evil is this book basically written by some person, Hannah Arendt, that talks about how you actually don't get the entire population of your country to do evil acts. You actually just get them to do things that they think are good, but in a grand scheme can produce evil, right? So Adolf Eichmann's whole like thing on the stand was like, I was a soldier. They all used that defense. Like everyone tried to use that defense. It didn't work. I mean, they were going to kill this guy anyways, but they wanted to basically like put him on trial. It was like a flex low-key that the Israelis were able to do this, to capture this guy and then like they basically put the Holocaust on trial in a sense. They got to do that because they captured this guy. So all that weight of all that stuff was put on this one guy, which, like, yeah, he was guilty as fuck, right? And I'm not saying what they did is wrong, but it was like, it's like a move, right? It's like, imagine if Khalistan is made and a lot of the guys who did like Icharasi or did the Delhi riots and stuff, like Jagdish Tyler and stuff like that, like, you know, Khalistan, you know, intelligence force captures them, brings them to Khalistan, then you get to like basically, because you didn't get everybody, right? You basically put all the crimes of everything in totality on the one guy. It would be kind of like that. And it's also a flex of propaganda to be like, yo, don't ever fuck with us again. We'll fuck you up type shit. And the Banality of Evil is a very interesting thing because it kind of shows that like human beings are more evil than you think, because they're not going to they know that like, okay, killing a child or chopping somebody's limbs off for the fun of it, that's wrong. That's messed up. But supporting your government while they're doing, you know, crazy stuff, that's not too bad. That's not an issue, you know. I was following the government and the government's laws and stuff, right? Because if you look at like the Nuremberg laws chart. Okay, so as you can see here, this was a Nuremberg law chart that was about race mixing. And it basically said like how, like what the, here, thank God this one's in English. So it's like a German ancestry would be, you know, your grandparents, parents, like they have it all laid out. And then they have like mixed second grade, mixed first grade, and then a Jew, and then like a full Jew. And basically, depending on where you landed on this is like where your standing in society was. So this was basically like a radicalized chart that assured second citizenshipness for people who were not German or of a proper German ancestry. So it shows like what mixed grade or whatever. And then there's like crazy stories where like the Nazis went really hectic in this like this eugenics thing where they would like measure people's noses. Like they were so well adapted at like finding Jews. It's actually pretty fucking crazy, because they would literally pull out crazy like birth certificates and charts, and like they didn't even have like DNA testing, none of that. They were just going off of like crazy meticulous like literally measuring people's noses, their eye length, their this, their that. Like it was pretty fucking nuts, the way they caught Jews. Like they would literally, there was like cases where 3 generations, like somebody in 3 generations up was Jewish, and then they became Catholic, and they'd still catch you and be like, no, you're mixed race, you're not pure, we gotta take you out of the pool. Like that's how crazy this was. And so people think that like one day they woke up and they're like, yo, kill these guys. Nah, it wasn't like that. It was like a slow descent into madness. It's always like that. Every single time, it's always a slow descent. And that's why it comes back to the point that I'm like, yo, you as a Punjabi, you as a Sikh, one of 2 things is going to happen to you or your bloodline one time in the future. Either you're going to not see it coming, LOL, not see it coming, or you're going to actually have been prepared and be like, I know that my community and my familial bonds need to be really strong, because they always turn on you at some point in history. One sec. Okay, that was a little ASMR. Yeah, and so now it's like, how evil is the government or whatever like that. And I think what ends up happening is with democracy, like you can it's in a weird way, democracy is not a political system, I'm going to argue. Democracy is a voting system. Because you can vote in, and multiple times throughout history we've seen this, you can vote in dictators, you can vote in fascists, you can vote in communists. Like you can do that because of democracy. Democracy is more of like how voting is going to happen. Does everyone get a vote? Does no one get a vote? Is it based off of like a certain precedent, right? Like we have certain things. Like it's not like everyone in Canada gets to vote. You have to be a Canadian citizen, you have to have whatever certain rights, and then you're allowed to vote. Whoops. And so I think we don't realize that if things start to get bad, and they are slowly getting bad, like I would argue that you're only allowed to be as prosperous as this government system and this government allows you, and the economy can let you. And so if they keep fucking with the economy, and we're seeing it happen in live time, like let's see, what is the S&P 500 at right now? So it's down 0.67% right now. Interesting. So they made a little bit of a recovery over this period. But, I mean, this is not like the best way to measure the economy. This is just measuring the kind of the liquidity of assets in the economy. But, like I'm saying, is that you're never allowed, like, the government we have is like, we don't have a Declaration of Independence or some crazy hectic constitution. Canada was a Dominion country. Like, how long was Canada a Dominion for? About 100 years. Until 1982. There's some of your parents that were, like, born before Canada actually became, like, an independent, truly sovereign nation. So Canada itself doesn't actually have these like set of laws that you think. And so we're only allowed to survive as successfully and politically as the system allows us to. And the system is based on like, in a way, America's kind of like, America's cooked in its own way. But like Canada is a weird mishmash of the British system. And the British system like low-key sucks. Like for example, you know, they in their like court, it's not innocent until proven guilty, it's guilty until proven innocent, which is like the burden of proof is on you to prove you're innocent versus the person who's accusing you, they have to prove you're guilty, which can actually like really, you know, put you in a jam because it's so much more easier to like it's harder to prove that you're innocent in a lot of these situations if you're already guilty. If you're innocent and then they have to prove that you're guilty, you actually have some, you know, leeway going for you. And like, I think things are going to get grim. Like there's that movie Ready Player One. LOL. Another day of not even getting to my actual topics. Ready Player One, Columbus stacks. Okay, so like they show this like world in Ready Player One. It's a sick movie. It has like, if you're like pop culture and stuff, where like basically they have like mobile homes and they stack them on each other, kind of like ghetto skyscrapers, I would call it. And I think this is pretty accurate to like what we're gonna see in the next like 20, 30 years. The economies and stuff are not getting better in any places, and they're about to price a lot of people out of wealth. I don't think people are have an understanding of like why this whole AI everything is like actually really freaky, because if they print more money, more people don't get rich, more people get poor. Again, this goes back to the paradox thing. If there's only $10 in circulation and we all have a dollar, there's 10 of us, we all have a dollar, and now there's 10 more, our dollar loses its value because of like a very basic supply and demand principle. More supply equals less demand, and then the value goes down. So as time goes on, if governments keep printing money, everyone's going to get poorer, okay? So what really is going to be wealth is assets. Most people are getting priced out of assets year after year after year. Wages aren't being able to keep up. Like, we aren't in a post-war boom anymore. We're in a post-war decline. And I don't even know that a war could really like change that type of situation in the world. Because I think my theory would be is that after World War II, all of Europe was decimated. It's basically like if there was a race, right? If this is like a 100-meter race, right? I need to have this like, okay, like if this is a 100-meter race and there's like 10 guys, basically like all the guys that were like the European countries got like shot in the foot, and then you got to run. So you would probably get to first place because all these other people are basically taken out of the race. And so that's how America just had a runaway economy. But if the world is going onwards together and forward, I don't think that like it's gonna continue like that, and we're gonna end up in like a mercantilism system all over again. And mercantilism. Okay, economic problem. The mercantilist system was an economic policy prevalent from the 16th to 18th centuries, primarily in Europe. It revolved around the idea that nations' wealth was determined by the amount of gold and silver it possessed. I think we are getting back to this right now. Like, let's look at gold price. If the price of gold is above $3,000, we're starting to see this system come back. Okay, price of gold. Fucking hell. Okay, gold is at 3,356. Yeah, this is not good. This is kind of proving or showing that like the people are losing a lot of faith in regular currencies, and now they're gonna flock back to gold, which means that we're gonna get back to a mercantilism style system where all countries basically they're like what they're pinning their dollar on is gold. And here's the thing, like America, we used to be on the gold system for a while, and then America cheated the system, and then when they cheated the system, they've basically said, okay, we're gonna get off the gold standard, and then they introduced a petrodollar and like a form of like a country-backed currency, and right now we're seeing all that go down. So my point being is like you people might make millions of dollars in the future. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but you're going to be classed out of buying assets. It's going to be harder for you to afford crazy profitable land or single family homes, or a single family home might just not be a great investment. And also, like, to some extent, I know Desis love real estate. Real estate is actually like really not a great investment vehicle because it destroys your liquidity. You have no liquidity. If there's ever a time where you need to get money really fast and the market is really bad, you're fucked. You literally get destroyed in a situation like that. Like in 2021, it was when they printed hella money, it became a seller's market. A lot of sellers were able to fucking sell their house at really high levels. It was not a buyer's market. Right now, it's a buyer's market because there's like a lot of supply. And so demand is very low. And so as a buyer, somebody might be desperate to be like, fuck, I need to sell my house. All right, what's the price? I'm asking 1.5 here. I'll give you one. I'll give you one stack or one mil. and they just got to take it. So as the world is going to keep on going, and with AI can basically, like, let's look at it like this, right? All the top jobs, doctor, lawyer, engineer, all that stuff, AI will start fucking creeping in like a cancer in certain ways. I can't like perfectly like lay out what exactly takes away, but I would assume it's something along the lines of like, if you're a doctor, instead of having 10 doctors on the floor, you could just literally just have AI specialist nurses who type all your symptoms into ChatGPT. It comes up with like 10 things it could be based off all the tests they run, and then a doctor basically checks in and just like, is that one? Like, it's more going to be like you're going to need a human to oversee the AI, which means that the demand for doctors is going to go lower. Lawyer, right? There'll be like AI lawyers where you can literally just go through them, write everything, and then like lawyers are basically going to be like pseudo therapists, mediators, where you only go to them to talk about like if divorce or whatever, and some of them that need to actually like go to court. And even that, man, I guarantee you they'll create some AI models that are like the conviction rate based off of like actual guilty people is this high, and if you're innocent and you hire this AI lawyer, you have a 90% chance of being like free. And then engineer, if anything that becomes like all math and stuff, like engineers are cooked, bro, because you can just put that all into a software and you can get the numbers out. And so you're gonna basically need like those jobs are gonna become the future trades. Do you feel me? Because in trades, right, the trades is basically like labor intensive work using tools. I'm gonna say that in the most basic sense, right? So those jobs, the future lawyer jobs, engineer jobs, all that stuff, the tool is going to be AI, and you're the labor worker using that tool to get it done. And it's not going to be that like, whoa, because so many people are going to be able to do it essentially. Like, who cares how much law and precedent when you can just type in a case on fucking ChatGPT or wherever the fuck, and it can pull up all the precedents, and you don't have to do all that work. You can draw up a contract within 15 seconds. It starts to take out a lot of the hours out of the work. So how does that kind of fuck up the economy or like people's standard of living? You just won't be able to buy assets. So like, let's see, what are the most popular, and they're probably like infographic, which is why I'm typing it on images. Most popular asset classes. Okay. So number one is, no, this is not. Okay. There's 5 asset classes, okay? It's cash, equity, fixed income, real estate, and commodities. So cash being obviously liquid funds, like wallets, saving accounts, etc. Equity is like index funds, stocks, ETFs, things that you can buy into. Fixed income is endowment policies, debt mutual funds, fixed deposits, recurring deposits. I'm assuming like I guess like a job, right? If somebody's lending you money or whatever, like not lending, but whatever. That one I'm not that sure about, to be honest. And then real estate, obviously buying land, all that stuff, and commodities. So there'll be a point where you just won't be able to afford any of this stuff. If gold runs away, like how many grams of gold can you really buy if your job is only making like $60K a year, right? And like how much equity, how much cash, like you would need to start being able. And then also the thing is, the barrier of entry into some of these things becomes 10 times harder. Like real estate, Yehudis run the banks, LOL. Like real estate becomes so hard if you don't have the capital. It doesn't matter. You would need to have like a 5-man family where it's like your mom, dad, you, your wife, or you, your husband, and then one of your kids all putting down a down payment to own a house. But now that house is basically split like fucking 5 ways or some shit. Like it becomes so messy, man. And so and then your money's tied up, and like you buying into that is hard. Okay, now equity. The stock market, like if you put $10,000 in the stock market today, expect to make money in 25, 30 years. It's not something you can easily make money in. If you could day trade and like trade the SPY or, do options, then yeah, maybe you can make some money here and there. And I've tried at options and I've actually done pretty decently. This month I've taken a loss. I will fully admit that. And so and then cash is like what you would get from a job, right? So realistically, the way you're all going to get fucked is you're going to be priced out of assets. You might have so much money in your fucking bank from maybe getting a crazy job or something, but you just won't be able to get in on the assets that allow you to like create generational wealth and so much more wealth. Taxes are going to get fucked. They'll tax your kids. They'll tax your gains, all that kind of stuff. And so the people that have money right now, they're compounding. We're trying to get money and get to a point to compound, right? So like one of the best ways that like Warren Buffett made a lot of money is he did dividend yield stock. So dividend yield basically works like this. Let's say there's a stock that's $100 and the dividend yield is 5%. That means for every stock you own, which is $100, you get $5. Okay? Simple math. So if you had a $1 million account and you got a dividend yield of like 4%. Yeah, let's say you had $1 million in like a bunch of dividends. That's what? $40,000? I just want to make sure because I'm kind of stupid, you know? Yeah, so 40 G's. That's what you would make in like a passive income and whatnot. But to get to $1 million, right? Let's say on a median, right, you made 80 G's a year. This is budgeting class 101. And this is the type of stuff they should be. Who cares about balancing a budget? What they should teach you in high school is like it doesn't matter how much money you make because most likely you're never going to actually be rich. Like unless you invent something or you're like a 1 in a billion type of human being and it's going to get like that, like you're basically going to be cooked. You need to do something, like you need to get so lucky off of doing something super risky. That's basically, like, in my opinion, like being desperate to do something super risky and the reward from it is what can basically put you to the next level. But most people, as the world gets even riskier and riskier, people are gonna be way too scared to do something that crazy because it's like, yo, like I'm basically, what if I lose all my money right now? I'm done. I'm fucked. I have to start from zero, right? So let's say you make $80,000 a year. And let's say, you know, you're not some desi. So you owe, it's about like $4,000 a month in expenses. That's food, rental, clothing, fun, transportation, whatever. I think $3,500 is a pretty like, yeah, actually that's pretty low. I think it'd be 4 G's. So that's half your money right there is fucked. Another like maybe 15 G's is going to be fucked. 15, 20 G's is going to be fucked from taxes. But let's just say 15. I have a calculator out on the thing. So that's 63 G's. And so if you have 80K minus 63, 17K. And this is if you're like a single person, this is how much money you're making. Right, you have 17K, right? How many years? And so let's not even factor in emergency spending, vacation, and having a husband or a girlfriend. We're not factoring that in. If you're a man, most of my listeners are probably dudes, right? You have 17 G's left over. You have a girl. She's going to eat up a lot of that. If you want to go on vacation and chill with your boys and party, you're going to eat up a lot of that, and so on and so forth. So let's even say you are so like, okay, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to save, blah, blah, blah. How many years is it going to take you to get to $1 million dividend portfolio? Let's do that math. So $1 million divided by 17 G's is how much you have left over. It'll take you 58 years. 80K is like today a decent salary, you know, 80 to 120K. So even if, let's say you had by miraculously, you're in like the $160,000 bracket or even 200,000, you had $50,000, right? A year left over. How much would it take? Divided by 50K. 20 years. If you're 20 years old, once you're 40, you'll have that money coming in. But at that point, like, your life has gone on so long. You had kids, this, that, the other. Like, your quality of life is going to end up having to be, in the future, your quality of life is going to be dictated on two things. Your spiritual progression and your family. Because everything else is going to be cooked. Vacations is going to be cooked. Going abroad is going to be cooked. Going out and chilling is going to be cooked. Dating is going to be cooked. All this stuff is going to be cooked. Like, the future does not look good. I don't think that there's any real case to be made that the future has a lot of like prosperity left in it. I think it's a complete opposite. I think like get now. To fucking, you gotta work your ass off, work super hard to basically make up for like an ounce of what your parents are able to do. Like, let's see, what do you call it? Wages. What is the type of graph I need to look at? Wage. Fuck it, graphs on wages. I'm like blanking on the thing I need to look at. Or yeah, real wage growth, okay? This is pretty dark. So it seems that in 2019 of March, if I'm reading this correctly, that means that in 1973 and in 2019, basically, the person was earning the same amount of money. So I think you could probably make a really solid argument that 1973 is when the West peaked. Like, that was peak Western civilization. Because after that, it dropped. It kept going down. And, like, this is pretty fucking abysmal. And so now look at this graph. Inflation and wages have not kept up. And so I'm saying like $1 million portfolio with dividend stocks, right? Like the Schwab dividend or Coca-Cola and shit like that, right? You can get to that level where you get 40,000 years doing dick all. There's already thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people that are like in the top 1% that are already there, that already have their money parked away. They have crazy accountants doing crazy, jiu-jitsu and like, moves to have their money sheltered away and making money. You're cooked, bro. There's no way you can win in this race. This race is already, you have, not only do these people have like a fucking 10-minute head start, they put you 5 minutes further back and acting like you can actually catch up. What you will not be able to catch up. What you can do is, again, have a really good family structure and have really good, you have to progress on the spiritual level, because what is really going to be left for you after? That to me is kind of like, this is me being a super pessimist, and I'll be very honest, right? If you're listening this far, I am a pessimist. All my options in the stock market are puts, which means that I think the stock market is going to do bad. So like, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Yeah, maybe the world for the first time in its history will come together to actually want to improve the lives of its citizens, and all the governments in the world will become like hippie, and like there'll be like money falling in the streets, and banks will have like 10% savings accounts, and they'll be giving out free stocks to people. Real estate value is going to plunge in some places for people to buy into cities that they want to live in, but the houses that like our parents already have, those house value will go up. Yes, maybe all of this can happen. Worth investing in Canada stocks or no? Not really, to be honest. Canadian stocks suck because they just don't. Stocks is not just like, if you're going to get into stocks, the whole idea is you want to invest in a company that you believe in and that has growth, year-on-year growth. The best company in Canada to invest in is fucking Shopify, which is like $139 right now. And like, this is probably maybe the only company that's worth investing in. And it still truly hasn't recovered from the pandemic. Or maybe it has, actually. Look, when the pandemic went, Shopify blew up because of like online, like sales from home type shit, right? And like now it's kind of creeping back up again. So maybe you could get into it or not. But the thing is, the argument that I make is like, right now there's still enough American companies with enough brand visibility that like they will make enough money for a while if you can get into them. Like, for example, if I was going to give everyone like a dividend yield portfolio, the Schwab dividend stock, I think it's this one. SCHD. The dividend stock yield. No, that's not it. It's SCHD. Where does it say? Where's the dividend yield? 4%. Not bad. You know? So SCHD, O Realty Corp. There's another one. It has a dividend yield of 5%. Pretty solid. Then Coca-Cola is like a pretty goated stock. Right here, they have a dividend yield of 2.8%. The reason why they're goated is because they never miss their dividend payments. And then Home Depot, I think, is also dividend. Yeah, 2.5%. And then like Visa stock. Dividend yields, yeah, 0.6%. Like that 5 right there that I said, like you're pretty diverse. You have one ETF, bunch of companies that are like, you know, long term, whatever, like you should be good to go. And that's it. Obviously, don't like do what I'm saying, like do your own research and stuff. But like if I was me and I had $1 million right now, that's basically how I would allocate it. Like right now, my biggest position is I have 6,000 stock in Wendy's. 6,000 of Wendy's stock. But I have it in options and puts, which basically means like I'm betting that Wendy's is going to go down. So like in 5 days, like it's just been tanking like day after day after day. And so if it goes under $10, I end up making like, let's say Wendy's stocks goes to $8 by August 20th, I make $20,000, something like that on like, I think it was, I think I got each share for 43 cents. So 0.43 times 6,000. Yeah, so on $2,500, I can make like 20 G's, but I have to wait till like August, right? Which is like a fucking fuck, man. That's so far away. Yeah, I don't want to get too doom and gloom and stuff, but like again, just a crazy rant to go down. But I do think that the future is not in the brightest position right now. Because again, like I think. And if we look at it in a spiritual way, which I like looking at things with a spiritual lens because I feel like it really does help, is like, you know, the guru said that we're in a dark age and like we go darker and darker as time goes on. So things aren't getting better and better. They are going to get worse and worse and worse. You know, from the morality, from the greed, from all this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of issues that are going to like take over, but who knows? Like there might be a turnaround at some point. Some paradoxical thing happens. I don't fucking know. This is just what I'm like assuming based off of like how things are basically going right now, and how like the best example is a lot of Kalki Avatar from Dasam is already happening. Yeah, it is. There is a lot of fucking crazy shit like that happening. But the what was I gonna say? Like when the governments all around the world printed money, like what went up? Stocks went up. Like how many people's lives got better? You know, how many people ended up having more money in their pocket? I would doubt most people didn't, unless you got on like CERB or something like that and did some scam to get on CERB and shit like that, or PPP loans. Like basically, like it didn't put any real money into your pocket. So I think you can expect that you're gonna get fucked. Like the middle class, if you end up getting middle class, right, you are the people that get hollowed out to fund the riches. It's a really, the middle class is basically middle class graph, and obviously we just use America because they have more. So middle class is right now in 2022 right now is like about $100,000, and so the middle class, they get their money siphoned by the upper class, who use the upper class own higher level of assets. They own more of this stuff, and the middle income is basically giving money to those things, those assets classes that the upper class owns, and then the middle class, the taxes they pay go to the lower income. So you're getting fucked like both ways. You know, if you're lower income and you're chilling, like you can get certain government benefits and a lot of stuff like that. And then if you're upper class, you have the assets, you have the wealth, the actual physical nominal wealth in the country. And so the middle income is just diverting their money into these two pools. So that's why you just get fucked in the middle class, and most people want to be middle class, right? All our Desi parents, most people that like have a house in Surrey, you guys are all middle class, and so your taxes are paying for the lower income, and you don't actually have a piece of the pie. Is that gonna get better? You know, is do I think that it's gonna get much better as time goes on? That the middle class is gonna be like dominant? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. Let's see what was actually on my list to talk about. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some of these points, and we'll see how that goes. So there's a really interesting thing that we've seen now in like the modern day of like immigration, for example, where the people that come from the Eastern world or third world countries come to the West to find prosperity, right? They come here to literally fulfill their basic needs in the Maslow hierarchy. But the people in the West that flock to the East, they go there for spiritual progression. They go there for finding fulfillment. They go there to finding the deeper answers in life, you know? Like Westerners in ashrams. Although I've never seen this picture. But like you see a lot of like going to India to find like spiritual teachers and gurus and shit. Because they end up getting to a point where they realize like having all this money doesn't mean anything. I'm not fulfilled with my life. I need to find something to like really fulfill me. And so what they end up doing is they all end up going to the Eastern world. They end up going chilling with the Buddhists and the monks, right? There's a really cool place in Japan. Fuck. So when I'm always about to start the pod, I'm like, fuck, do I even have anything to talk about? And then the brain just starts going, brother. So if you go to this place in Japan called, I think it's called Wakayama. Yeah, Wakayama. You can stay at Buddhist temples and like just become like a disciple. So like Wakayama Buddhist. Yeah, Wakayama staying with Buddhists. So let's see if this guy this guy ends up doing.
Buildings, atmospheric surroundings, train from downtown to stay overnight, touting one of its many temples.
So as he said you can see overnight is one of its many temples.
Nankai Railway, travel after and a 2-day trip to Mount Koya.
So Mount Koya is, I feel like there's like a Punjabi song like that, Koya, Hindi song. Sorry, my brain is so ADHD that I can't even focus on one thing. That's pretty trippy.
Places in Japan meditation,
or literally first bridge, which mining of elves close. Japan's warlike part, just a short distance can be.
Offers a unique window into the simple lifestyle of.
Okay, so a shukubo, I guess, is a temple lodging where you can stay in a temple. And then there's certain temples where you can just stay there. But like, look at this, how crazy this is. Like, imagine, like, you know, Vancouver's known for its hikes and stuff. And I always say this, like, hiking is mad gay because you're just like walking around into mountains and there's like nothing really at the top except like kind of a viewpoint. And I don't ever, like the hikes I've gone, I don't see people chilling at the top for like, holy fuck, I need to change where my guy is. Whoopsies. You go to these mountains, like look at these like these shrines that they have here, right? Like how dope would that be where like you go on like a crazy hike. Hold up. I'm sorry, I just tripped out hard there. Oh my god, my window's not even proper. Horrible producing, horrible producing. Let's quickly take a break to talk about House of Johal. Use code E2 for a discount at thehouseofjoel.com, 20% discount. Yo, buy the merch, man. Just check it out. There's also other cool stuff on the website. The music, all that stuff, you know. Do your boy a solid. Just check it out. If you like it, you know, you'll get some dope shit out of it. So my point being is like there's these crazy like you could go like shrine walk through Japan tour. Fuck. Walking. God damn, what is it called? Walking through Gifu, Japan. There's one video I always come back to. I think it's called like Guju Hachimen. Gujo Hachimen. Yeah, right here I think is this one. Yeah, I always come back to this video. So like what's so crazy about this is like all these small towns are kind of built like this in these like suburban ways. And like I'm not trying to dick ride too hard, right? Like obviously they have their own problems, etc., etc. But like what's sick is like, so you see this like temple they have, and then like this is like a garden in the back. Like imagine like a Gurukar here had this. Like if you went to the top of a mountain and there's like a tea house temple situation where you can just chill, relax, sit. The scene is beautiful. You know, they have refreshments and stuff like that. And like there's just something beautiful to gawk at other than just like just mountains on mountains and like greenery, you know? Like something to actually have like a lived experience within. And that's what's really sick about Japan is that they have like a lot of this kind of stuff. But there's just there's gonna be a lot of like Japan talk on this podcast. Like it's sick. They have like a temple, what do you call it? A castle. I think like Guju Hachimen Castle. The views are stunning, dude. Like I think like if besides doing like the regular going to Japan and like chilling, like I think you could really find like clarity and simplicity and the love for that there. Not because like we just like lack it here. It's not like you can't, but it's like there's these enclaves of beautiful cities that have all the perfect what's the word I'm looking for? They have the perfect amenities. They have the right amenities and they have this right like building with nature. That's the beautiful thing. Like a suburb in here in like America, North America, they just rip out the land, right? Like if you look at a map of like right here, right? Like all these parts that are basically white are like completely mangled land area. It's just basically been cityfied. It's been destroyed. There is no like harmony with nature the way we build, which is probably another reason like there's just so many issues and mental health issues and all that stuff because there's just no harmony in the way we build our cities and our countries and whatever. Whereas like for sure, like Tokyo, like look at this, like Tokyo's crazy like that. And I mean, it does have 37 million people living there. Like it's just so spread out. But if you go to these like cool places, like that place was in Gifu, right? Like here, let's see. Let's go to Kyoto. Let's go to like Mount Hiei, right? There's this crazy mountain. You get to the top and it's basically a small hike and there's like these temples up there. And now you can like look at the city. You can look at the temples and stuff. I just think that's a beautiful way to interact with the city that you live in. Like this is so aesthetic, dude. Like SkyTrain could never. Like I just like that there's such a rich history in place, and I truly wish that like we could bring. But the thing is, we have no taram, right? We have no like. What are people gonna build that's like deep with spirituality and beauty and stuff? Not much, I would assume, because what are you gonna really build? Like, there was that Times Square statue. This thing is so goddamn ugly. Look, it's a fat black lady in Times Square. Like, this is how you understand that your society is in peak decline. Because I'm not saying anything bad about her, but I'm like, there's nothing to aspire to. There's no beauty in this. This is like like a meme. This is like artistic meme. There is nothing amazing and like aspirational and or inspiring about this. Like, there's that sick grave sculpture, Italy. Right here, this. Like, this is like, yeah, we're six this ripped and stuff in war. No, like, on a roti diet, bro, like, of course not. These six weren't gonna be this ripped. Oh, fuck, man. The quality is so bad, dude. But the idealization, the aspiration of, like, yo, the six, the strength and the honor. You know, the guy in the back is catching a Gora Italian guy. The sick in the front rushing with the flag. Like, yeah, that's not how war is fought. This is so unrealistic in that regard, but it's idealized. It's something to look forward to. It's something to put your belief in. Whereas, like, this is this is dumb. This seems like a country mocking you, basically being like, this is us, like, making a mockery out of you. There is nothing here. Like, somebody was telling me about, like, when you gain like 20 pounds of fat or something, your body has to create like 10 kilometers worth of veins to feed the fat and all the whatever. Like, for every 10 pounds gained, the body creates 10 kilometers. Man, the body creates 10 kilometers of veins, some shit like that. Man, hold up. I need to prove that I'm not a full dumbass. So, all right, it's gonna come back to me. I literally messaged the person that told me they're studying, right? So they're studying like the subject. So that's how I learned about it. But again, like, this is gnarly, ugly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the society is decaying at such a rapid rate. Not like the first half I talk about economics, and I keep talking about spirituality in all the other videos. But now you can clearly see it in every other way. Culturally, you could see it in like institutionally. Everything is just decaying. It's just like a slow erosion of everything. And that's why I think, like, Japan, what's cool about it, on like some Dick Rider shit though, is like there's certain areas of this country that are like preserved like that. Like, let's just throw the guy in here in like what looks like a bit of a like there's like an interesting stillness to this. I need to find a little bit of like a city though, like a little village situation. All right, let's see. Maybe somewhere here. Yeah, okay, there should be. All right, this is just a road. Okay, right here maybe. Like, this is beautiful, dude. Like, this simplicity, like, I'm down with this, man. Like, this is hella fire. And Japan is like mad affordable too. Like, there's this page I follow. It's called Cheap Houses for Japan. It's on Instagram. I mean, anyone can check it out. Like, look at this. Like, 55 grand, 29 grand. Like, very affordable housing. Like, you could basically, with 100 G's, dip out. Like, what's the average cost in the countryside of Japan? What's the average yearly cost in the Japanese countryside. Okay, so this is the quote. In an average human body, there are 100,000 kilometers of blood vessels. These vessels come in three types: arteries, capillaries, and veins. For each kilogram of gained fat, the body must produce 10 kilometers of additional blood vessels. One reason why obesity is so damaging to the cardiovascular system. Sup, bro? Yo, good job. Sunday Gurdwara flex, eh? So think about that, right? Like if you're fucking getting so fat, like your body needs to like produce way more blood. Like you're just overextending, over abusing your body that like, you know, you can't really end up living so long of a life. Khalsa chat. Yo, shit, the chat has a bunch of y'all. What's up? Okay, so again, let's say you had $100,000 and the average annual cost of living in rural Japan can range from 1.9 million yen to 2 million yen, which is about 13 G's. Let's just call it 15 G's Canadian. And you go with 100K, you buy a $50,000 spot. Your $50,000 left to do fuck all for a year. Or fuck all. How many years? You have 3 years where you could do fuck all, you have a spot. And so I think that's a pretty sick way to go, right? Especially if you have like an online job or some shit. Like you're basically chilling now. And so hold up, I gotta open this in another tab because can't let people see my email and shit. There's like an interactive map if you actually like subscribe to this guy's newsletter, which I did a long time ago. But the funny thing is like he I guess you still get access to it in a weird way. So here, let me show you. All right. So these are all the cheap houses, quote unquote, in Japan. So let's go 30 to 80K. So let's find like I would probably want to live by like a cool city like Kyoto, like an hour drive away from Kyoto. So let's see this house. I don't know, like this is a random house. Okay, this preview sending you. No. Okay, let's try it. No. Okay, I guess that one didn't work. Okay, let's try here. Let's try it right over here. A little bit out of Kyoto, like probably 30-minute drive out of Kyoto. This better work, I'll be choked. All right, right here, boom. So like this is a pretty nice spot, nestled within the mountains. Like this is pretty beautiful. And you get to buy into Japanese society. It's actually pretty easy to also like be part of their society. Like this is not bad. A little bit of some renovation if you want to make this your forever home type shit, and you'll be chilling. And so like, well, how far is that from Kyoto proper? Let's see. Let's go to, that was like what? It was where was it? That's okay. That's like right here. The Jinnoji Temple. Directions. Let's go to here. A 32-minute drive. So you get access to like a world-class city, all that kind of stuff for, how much was it? It's what, 12.8 million yen? Which, wow, what's that? That's like 123,000 bucks. Okay. I guess that one's a little bit more expensive. I mean, you get houses in fucking BC for like $1 million whatever, right? That's like 1/10 the price essentially. And that's just like a random one that I did. But I'm pretty sure that one's a little bit more expensive because it's close to Kyoto. But if we go to like buttfuck nowhere, like fucking here, this house right here will probably be cheap as shit. If the site actually decides to work. Is this the house? I don't know. These Japanese websites are so hard. Okay, there's like, look at this little cute log cabin. You feel me? 9.5 million yen. What is that? 91 G's. Not bad. What do you think about owning your own land and self-sustaining? Here's the thing about your own land. If you just dip out by yourself, like, you just have to toil for the rest of your life, like working your land and shit. And especially if you're by yourself, like you kind of like cut yourself away from society. And from a Guru Nanak Dev Ji's perspective, like that's not how you're not supposed to abdicate from society to be like, fuck all this shit. And so I think like that if you go as a community, like if there's like 10 families that go together and you guys buy plots of lands like all similarly close together, then I think that might be better. Like there's this thing called they're called machias. A machia house. There's a, what are abandoned house in Japan's called? Akiyas. There's like these akiyas, basically like you get them for like $5,000. They're abandoned houses. You have to like actually renovate the fuck out of them. So like buying an Akiya. That sounds like a car. Buying an Akiya. Alright, so let's see what this guy has to say about this.
Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's a 2-story, 4 meters from Ito Station, built in 1986, but it was fully cost extra to billion yen.
I mean, this is, I guess this was an Akiya that was renovated and whatnot.
It's unreal. Brand new house in Ito, and a 17-minute when you start walk-in closet. No kill, like the last house we. It's a nice. Seriously though, where in the world can you buy a brand new house within walking distance of a beach at this price?
What's the price?
Right, so just to give you 4 LDK house with, but that's pretty much.
All right, hold up. We gotta see what the price is.
Home in Ito. The second house we visited was this brand new house in Ito. It's a 2-story, 4 LDK house with 107 square meters of living space and 194 square meters of land. And it's a 20-minute walk from Ito Station and a 17-minute
Oh my god,
walk
just tell me how
from
much it is, bro.
beach. Let's take a look inside. On the first floor, not second floor, sure, and balcony. And it's a Ito, and it comes massive area. You know, it's great if you. It's on the flat, so like the last house. I think it doesn't feel spacious at first, but brand new side has enough 2 cars. The asking price is
190 G's. It's not bad, man. This could be like your, dip out. And like if you go to what are those fucking islands called? The ones Okinawa, right here, I think, or right here. Okinawa is basically like it's kind of like Hawaii. The water quality there, like if I show you pictures. Like this is Okinawa. And it's like, this is like one of those best kept secrets right now. Right now, everything else has been fucking blown to death. Everyone knows about Santorini in Greece. Everybody knows about Hawaii. Everybody knows about the Caribbeans. Everybody knows about Mexico. Like Okinawa is now like I'm blowing up the spot a little bit, but like this is another one of those places because you get institutions, infrastructure, amenities of Japan, a first world country, but you also get like the beauty of like a Fiji island or like the Thailands or the Hawaiis of the world, you know? That's a pretty fucking like sick spot to be in, for example. And so, but back to your thing, what you think about owning your own land? Also, like if you notice throughout history, rural areas always get fucked first. Almost specifically in like a lot of situations. Like actually, it's a mixed bag. I take that back because in like World War II, cities were really fucked because the concentration of people and industry. But like if you look at like the Vietnam War, like the countryside is the most like devastating part of the war. So there's a bit of like you can like dip out from all the fuck shit, but sometimes it's a mixed bag. But I think if you're not moving with like 10, 15 people, like families, then it's not worth. Like I remember going deep into this like rabbit hole where you could find like literally Japanese towns that are completely like empty, and you could literally like move there. Here, let me show you some crazy shit right here. There's this place in Japan, this like house that you can rent for like $20 a day. Hold up, I just gotta find it. No, it's not this. I'm doing another tab because I'm looking through all my bookmarks and I don't want anyone to like get sussed out. Sorry for the dead space, guys. You can just hear the music in the background and let that chill you out. Right here, I found it. Perfect. Okay, check this out. This is a place, it's an inn called Osawa Village in the Sky. I wish I could talk to this guy to just buy his spot. It's located in a town called Misakubo. And like this is the view basically. You're like on the top of a mountain and you just get to look out into the world. And accommodation information, learn more. So this is what it looks like on the inside. You get this like hot bath on the outside. There's some old school rice cookers. You know, it has a full like fledgling toilet, a little mini kitchen. And what's the price of the spot? The little fucking... What's the price? I remember finding the price was just so like ridiculously cheap, man. If you want me to plan any of your vacations, yo, hit me up. I'll charge a small fee. I'll have you doing all types of dope shit. Heights, highlights, mascot. Maybe I'm just like not looking properly, I guess. Oh, right here, I think. Reservation inquiries. Look at this old family that's so cute with their little doggy. Oh, here we go. Adult accommodation for one night. 5,000 yen. I'm pretty sure that's like $50. Yeah. $50 a night to stay here. And then you can see this guy's video, which is really cool. Where he goes and he chills up there. I follow this guy. Kaminoka solo life. So like, okay, here he is. He's gonna make some jal. Made some jal, and now he's chilling in a sauna. Or not a sauna, like a bath. He's having a hot bath on the top. This is pretty great, man. And now he's gonna cook a little meal using the charcoals from his earlier situation. Some Mahaprasad. Joke, that's a joke. He's got a little crock pot going. Yum yummers. I love this video so much, man. Like this is just a beautiful, there's just a beauty in a simplistic life, you know? LOL, this episode I was gonna talk about fucking weddings. That went out the window hardcore, didn't it? One sec. Okay. That was how did I even get onto that topic, dude? Was that on the west? Yeah, so people go to the west and some people go to the east. All right, I wanted to talk about, there's like a very interesting phenomenon, if you guys are noticing, where like, you remember like when we were young, there was like those fucking goofy Illuminati videos. Like there was this one rapper, man, he had this song called Grand Deception by K Rhino. I was obsessed with this song in high school. I thought this guy was like a man. All right, let's try to switch the account. The hell? Okay, well, that's kind of dumb. This song right here. So like this guy's basically talking about like why is there a hawk on the $1 bill and the Latin writing and all this stuff, and like that's basically what the song is. It's just so cringe now that I think about it, and like reading these comments, you're just such dumbasses. Like this isn't just a song; it's modern gospel. Song makes song makes even more sense today. 11 years ago. The thing is like coming back to the banality of evil, like people unknowingly like contribute to like retardation, right? So there isn't an actual Illuminati trying to control your brains and stuff with like bullshit with like these crazy theories and stuff, but it is actually true that you are being fed propaganda unknowingly by yourself and unknowingly by the people. Like a first example is like boomer shows from back in the day. Like if you guys know who this guy is, Al Bundy. No, not Al Bundy. There's a different show. There's a fuck, man. What show is this? Married with Children. Married. He's also on Modern Family, obviously, if you can tell. Similar shows. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like these shows, like Al Bundy, like all these boomer shows that came out around this time, right? Married with Children, they basically create this like imagery that like, oh my God, my wife is the old ball and chain, and what did I get into? She's is such a pain in the ass to have to deal with it, and oh my God, kids are just such a stress. Like, oh my God, I have to deal with my kids. Like they did this for like a comedic sense, and then like the culture actually like bought into it. And so the culture now actually does think like when you get married, your wife is somebody you don't even like that much and you're kind of stuck with them. Having your kids is such a pain in the ass and it kind of destroys your ability for life. Like this wasn't something that a bunch of like Illuminati-esque people thought of in some fucking back room or some shit about like, oh, this is how we're going to deceive the population and trip them out. We're gonna make them think that like being married is like gonna destroy your soul. It's like no, like people did this and it just kind of compounded into pop culture, and this is what people believe. Another example is like the rom-coms, right? This did irreparable damage to a woman's mind. These Matthew McConaughey movies, like all this kind of stuff, 10 Things I Hate About You, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like there's so many rom-coms, they completely destroyed a woman's mind because they created this false sense of fantasy in a woman's mind of like how life should be and could be, right? There's a movie with Hugh Grant, I believe. Hugh Grant rom-com. Love Actually. No, whatever. I forgot which one it was, but basically the plot for like a lot of rom-coms is like a girl has to choose between two guys. One guy that's like, quirky and like and cool and nice and sweet, and one guy who's a bit of a bad boy, blah blah blah. Like, and oh my God, it's so hard to make a choice. I gotta date both of them and see which one I like, right? These kind of movies destroyed the fucking mind of the woman brain in the 90s, the 2000s, and like still today, where like women are like basically like this or nothing. You see this kind of stuff on Instagram all the time. It's like women be like this or nothing. It's like, dude, oh shit, whoops, lol. Like this is not healthy for the mind of a woman that like you believe that life should be like this. Whereas like dude movies, like movies that dudes love, like Lord of the Rings, this is a movie about like eat shit, get fucked, your buddies are gonna die, you're gonna be in pain, you're gonna be like overcoming sorrow and sadness and addiction. Life is not gonna end up being pretty, and you're gonna have to put yourself on the line, and hopefully you get the girl at the end. Whereas the women movies are everything is amazing for you. You're in the best position possible. All right. Best example is like Twilight, and I talked about this before, but like this bitch basically gets to decide between two hot dudes, a werewolf and a fucking a vampire. Like this is women's fantasies at like
Yeah, but he said it's like the show Friends. It made people think it's cool to have roommates and live in shitty apartments. Big facts. People truly believe that like they've been convinced into fantasizing these bullshit lives, right? Because in Friends it just looks like they're chilling all the time. But in reality, if you're living in New York, your life was mostly eating shit and fucking working. And so all these movies, again, I don't think it's a conspiracy, but this was all propaganda in a way. It sold the American life, right? And so then another one is like, movies that exemplify the American dream. You've got the Gordon Gekko movie. I think it's called Wall Street, but I don't remember. I think I'm just gonna search up the name. Gordon Gekko. So this guy, like, he's a shitty fudu, like, Wall Street type of guy, and like people like love the dude, right? And he's like he personifies like the American dream and stuff. So I think a lot of the time it's not like people know that they're doing evil or they're trying to mess with you or you mess with your brains or tinfoil hat type shit. It's like it's almost not accident, but it's like through like what they believe people want to see and like the inner fantasies and the darkness within themselves. They bring that to the light of like movies and music and all this stuff, and then you just end up creating a bunch of fucktards in society, right? Like, I think the biggest, like, most dudes that are listening, man, you're gonna have to deal with chicks that are on this fucking bullshit time, and it's just like, I feel bad for you, and I feel bad for anyone that's gonna have to deal with these like stupid, like, thinking levels of like, this is how simplistic life is. It's a fantasy. It's like a movie. People want their life to be a movie. And that type of thinking has destroyed like the Western world in another way. But it is an interesting thing because like even though Gordon Gekko's a degenerate and stuff, like me personally, I trust degenerate people much more than I trust like good people who are like, oh, we're good people, blah blah blah. I don't fall for that because truthfully speaking, I think degenerate people are so much more trustworthy because it's like the scorpion and the frog. Like, that they're degenerates, that they might be thieves or addicts or whatever. And you can expect that from them, right? You're not going to expect them to come through. But people who pretend to be good all the time, like, remember this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried? He was like, we're donating money. We're doing this, that, the other. We're good people. And then turns out he's running a crypto scam and fucking having a polycule orgy with the 10 of the ugliest people in the Bahamas. Like, the people who act like good doers are like this. Like, Mr. Beast is another perfect example. I tried to talk about this on the pod with Randy back in the day. I just couldn't ever talk about it. But, like, Mr. Beast is, like, this good guy, whatever. And then, like, there was, like, weird degenerate shit that was, like, allowed to happen inside his sphere, right? That guy beside him, he ends up becoming trans, and he's, like, grooming people, destroys a marriage. And Mr. Beast's like, hey, watch our videos. It's like when you stand for nothing, you believe in nothing, and you're just trying to be this goody two-shoe guy. I don't believe it. I don't ever believe it. Like, countries that pretend they're being good or whatever, I'm such a skeptical. I'm so fucking cynical in that regard. I just think, like, what's the catch? What are you selling? What are you pitching underneath? It's probably something else that we don't really know about. Versus, like, the people that I know are technically degenerate, right? Like, Gennies that burn or singers that do fuck shit. I know what to expect from them, and they always end up actually coming through for me. It's rare for the people that like pretend to be good actually end up coming through, because I feel like, and I could go into so many stories of like these horned out Gyannerns, bro. Like, so many of them go and they're doing part, oh my god, Vaheguru. They're at the Gurdwara doing all this stuff, and then behind closed doors they're like sending nudes and fucking talking about all this wild shit that they want to do. That's just like, even me being a degen myself makes me scared, bro. Like, it creeps me out. I'm not, Uber Waffles, I'm being honest, man. I've talked about this. I talk about this I get more into these stories on the Twitch because, this stuff can go to a lot of people. But, like, on Twitch, right now we have a little bit of a community. I do tell these stories a lot more openly. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't trust. There was so many things that I knew, and like from other people that like they go to the Gurdwara, bro. Their chola is all like fucking pressed and ironed. All their lards are crisp, and the gold pug is beautiful and perfect. And they do Santya, and they're doing Guru Granth Sahib Di Seva. They got like, they're washing their feet 10 times in their hands, doing Langar Seva. And then like at home they're asking fucking Ghanaians to like suck their dicks and fucking do all this ganda ass shit behind closed doors. That's why I'm fine talking about degenerate shit, because I'm like, at least you know what I'm selling. At least that when I'm telling you about the Sikhi stuff, at least when I'm telling you about, you know, history and all this stuff, I'm not trying to sell you on something like, yo, I'm a moral guy, bro. I'm a real Gyanni, bro. I know everything. I'm telling you the truth that, like, yeah, I'm fucked up, but like I'm admitting to that so that you can also know that I'm admitting to these truths and these things. That yes, I might not be upholding them, but that's the truth. Versus some of these Gyannis that come through and they go, yo, we're like the purest of the pure, and then behind closed doors, they're fucking sunpak babaing in the back rooms. I just found out about that story. Literally, somebody had mentioned in a chat, and I was so confused about it. And then I asked my buddy, and he's like, he gave me the whole spiel and everything. I was like, holy fuck, this is fucking insanity, dog. Galyug be real, brother. Galyug be real. Buddy sent me the video. But I'm not gonna watch it. You obviously watched it. You said it's jokes. I'm not gonna watch it. That shit's too fucking gross for me. I don't want to watch a Baba giving it to some other dude in the fucking back. What I thought was funnier was like my buddy sent a picture of the Baba, like just regular, and that was tripping me out because I'm like, holy fuck. There's low-key a lot of gay Baba. Yo, this is the last segment. There's a lot of homosexuality happening in the Panta, bro. In like a lot of these data cultures, a lot of like my buddy was telling me that like you know these bubbas that like meet up in the parks and stuff, like there's like low-key like gay communities formed from them. Like there's a lot of gay babbas doing perverted shit. There's a lot of babbe being caught. Let's just be clear right there, right? Like another homie told me about like him and a buddy saw a baba fucking a dog in India. Like, you know, a chick told me that her mans told her of a kid that used to be in the pind that used to let all the other older boys fuck him. And then like there's stories of like gay sex homo fucking shit happening in like the dulls, in the Nahang dulls, like they're fucking each other. This happens at the Taksal. Like my mom wanted to send me to the Taksal when I was younger, and she asked the basics of Sikhi guy Harman because she knew him. And that guy's like, unless he's going with like family, like an older brother or like a chacha or somebody you know in India, don't send them because they do fucked up wild shit there. You know, and I think he didn't want to say it, but like, yeah, they be butt fucking out there, bro. These babbe out here, they be butt fucking. Like, there's a lot of this stuff under the table that they're not going to admit. And like the Sunpak Baba, the fact that got caught, like, because here's the thing, there's a lot of closeted homos out here, bro. And like a lot of these babbe and stuff are wild and out. And the Sunpak Baba is one example. Nanak in India got exposed recently for drug trafficking in the basement of the Gurdwara. And Punjabi Art says, nah, the other Nanak Babbe Meron caught were wild, and yeah, they were touching kids. They had diaries of each little kid's name. Yeah, like there's a lot. Like this isn't just like the Catholic Church and stuff. Like this is within even like Sikh circles, and Desi, not even Sikh circles like the Babbe and the Singhs and stuff. Like these like regular like Sardars and non-Khalsa Babbe that like chill at the park and stuff have like these weird gay underground like connections and stuff from what I'm hearing. And like I remember that a buddy of mine, gay stuff happens where there are a lot of men, so churches, military prisons, etc. Yeah, but what's like, it's not crazy. Like now it's like a pretty like studied phenomenon of like, you know what a beard is? The Urban Dictionary. Let's go. Beard. The significant other of a person who is gay, but they are the opposite sex. A beard is used to make the world think the gay partner is straight. Sometimes a beard knows they're a beard, and sometimes they're being deceived. So, like, the Sunpak Baba had a beard. As in, like, he had a wife that made the world think that he was straight, but in reality, he wasn't. A lot of people that are married and stuff in these worlds have beards in this regard. And you don't know it because, like, he has a wife. He has kids, too. Doesn't matter, man. They're low-key closeted bisexuals and shit. Like, it's a wild world out there that we live in, man. And this is why, like, having the degenerate combos, like, there's one thing just going straight degenerate, oh, bro, I'm fucking getting drunk, blah, 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 blah. No, that's one thing. But, like, being able to openly talk about it and be like, this stuff is happening, and we either have to, like, as a community come to terms about, like, yes, this stuff happens. How do we deal with it, right? Because either you have people hiding it, like, I'll tell you a crazy story right now, bro. I knew a chick who like didn't run away, but she tried really hard to apply to a university outside of Canada. So she tried to get out of the country because her mom got remarried to a dude, a Singh, who was a Panj Pyare. Like, he was regularly doing Amrit Sanchar. And so that dude was her stepfather. And this chick's stepfather would regularly angood her. That's what we're going to call it to avoid the detection. She was getting angood by... You guys are going to think that's so wild that I said that. This guy who's a Panj Pyare was like angooding her on the regular. And that's how she basically dipped out. And I've heard like 3 stories like that from different chicks. Like ones that were like non in Sikhi circles. But it just hurts 10 times harder in a Sikhi circle because you expect so much better, right? From these people. Which is why that like, you know, we in our conversations on our chat, we regularly talk about like Amrit does not save you from the fucking, the chitros of the world. Fuck, I need water, man. Ah, fuck, that water's 2 days old. I'm gonna die. Just because you take Amrit, that means nothing. That doesn't actually mean you become a better human. Again, Amrit puts you on a path to basically going, it's an initiation ceremony to make you become more spiritually disciplined, right? That's how I would view it. And just because some people are Amritari doesn't mean shit. And some of these examples like are like inherent of that. And I just know way too much fucked up shit, bro. Like, there was things that have like come out, like a Santhya teacher here at Gurnanak at Gurdwara. He was like, here's the thing. This situation was really weird because he was diddling around with the girl, or like whatever. Like it wasn't a girl. It was a chick who was older than me. He was younger than her. So the Santhya teacher, I think, was like 22, 23. The chick was like 24, 25, and they were having relations. But then they turned it into like he was like taking advantage of his position or whatever. But the thing is like that chick was mad weird. Like, she, on her Instagram, would write these like weird fetishizing posts about the gurus. Like, I wish the guru's gaze was upon me and I could bask in his light and be able to have his feel of me, and like really weird like low-key sexual like writings, you know. And she was like Amritari for a bit, then she went non-Amritari, which is like the classic story of like with chicks in the panth, which is like most chicks that take Amrit end up going, nah, this ain't for me, and dip out of it. I see that 90% of the time. I think the rate of women who take Amrit who are like after nah is so much more common. But the chicks who keep taking Amrit do really deceptive, fucked up shit under the hood. And the ones that aren't like actually proper Khalsa Singanis are really like cuckoo in the head. There's like 3 categories that they fit into, bro. Like, genuinely speaking, like Uber Waffles, a homie in the chat, he'll tell you straight up he doesn't believe that women should be taking ball. And like I be listening to some of his takes and they're interesting. I fully don't have like a conclusion on this, but like the more that I've thought about it, the chicks that have taken Amrit, almost every single one of them without fail, like I don't know a single chick that had a pug that after 5 years they still had a pug. They took it off at some point. Always, almost 99% always ends up happening. They go, oh, I was tricked, or this wasn't for me, etc., etc. Whereas dudes just kind of go like, whatever, I wear it, it's part of my identity. People are gonna think I look fucking weird if I cut my hair type shit. Chicks are like, nah, I need to fucking look pretty and stuff again. And like that's something that like the gurus understood with Chitro. That's something that like, you know, even the Bibles and older Abrahamic works, they all like talk about like women want to look pretty. Women want to be seductive. Women want to, you know, women love cosmetics, right? Like cosmetics. Maybe, right? There's in the chat ball for women is here. Hold up, I need to turn the thing black so people can see the chat. There, you guys should be able to see it. The AKJ Textile circles are kind of strict with it. Yeah, but the AKJs like basically create the most hooers out of any like Panthic organization, because like they basically suppress the woman's femininity as much as possible. That like a woman either starts to die and wither inside and become a husk of herself, or she just fucking explodes and is like literally like lending out the fuddi like it's a fucking, like it's prashad basically. It gets pretty dark. Like, I've heard so many crazy stories that would have you guys just like, what the fuck? And so, yeah, again, Amrit doesn't do anything. Like, spiritual discipline comes from within, and you could do it even without the Amrit. And the Amrit could just be like the add-on after the fact, you know? Yeah, I wanted to do this full screen, but fuck, the chat overlay is not... Wait, let's see if I can copy this. Copy. Oh, cool. So, like, I've seen so much, and we'll get into more of the stuff. Like, we talk more about it on the Twitch and stuff, so I would recommend, like, everybody joining that, because the Twitch has a lot more wilder shit that we talk about. What's an hour and 36 minutes? Fuck, I didn't even get to my topics again today. Just, like, barely touched on them. Yeah, the stories I could tell you will make your skin crawl. This I was gonna talk about the marriage industry and stuff, but like we're already an hour and 36 minutes into this. I guess we'll save that topic for another time. I'm gonna add the Canwar, the.
But is you ready for this jet tonight?
You're about to see that part too, and I hope you guys enjoyed the pod. You'll see the other part that I'm gonna add to this, but we'll probably expand on some of this degenerate stuff more. I mean, the chat. What do you guys think? What else should I talk about on the degenerate level of these things? Because I feel like I'm leaving some things out that I feel like I'm leaving some of the things out, to be honest with you. Because in that world, there's a lot of whatever. Oh yeah, okay. That point I wanted to talk about, the femininity thing. So I don't think that the Sikhi experience is equal. And what I mean is Sikhi preaches equal treatment for everybody, but it's not talking about equal experience for everybody. Because I believe, in my true opinion, that inherently Sikhi does talk about two differently complete circles of experience for men and women. And, you know, if the gurus are antarjami and they're smart, you know, they're not on this like, oh, women can be men and men can be women type bullshit. Hell no. And I think what they're really talking about is like, there's a feminine way to interact with Sikhi, and there's a male way to interact with Sikhi. And people I've talked to on the chat and stuff, I explained that like there's 5 archetypes that a male Singh Khalsa experiences when you become part of the Khalsa and you take Amrit. And the 5 archetypes, these are like human archetypes, okay? And the 5 are the warrior, the king, the philosopher / poet, the father, and the wizard. These are the 5 things. The warrior is not a soldier. The soldier is a mindless being who just takes orders, like the Nazis and stuff like that. The warrior is a tempered soul who has courage and honor and is not afraid, and he will fight for the righteous reasons. A warrior is also intelligent. He's strategic. He doesn't just go into battle swinging his sword. He's refined. He uses technique. He practices, and he has discipline. That is the warrior, and the Sikh ethos says that, right? Guru Har Gobind, you know, giving us wrestling. The Guru Gobind Singh Ji doing tactics, long-range weaponry. Guru Har Gobind close-quarter combat fighting. The Sikh missiles using strategy and guerrilla warfare when it was necessary. That's the warrior ethos. The king. The Guru will always tell every single one that, like, Khalsa Khud Khuda. Like, we are like the masters and the kings of ourselves and the world that we live in. Each Khalsa is like a sovereign being of themselves. They are kings. They have Badshahi. And when the Khalsa comes together, it's just kings amongst kings, all right? The philosopher / poet. The Khalsa is meant to think. The Khalsa is meant to introspect. The Khalsa is meant to indulge in beauty, in poetics, and beautiful arts, right? Philosophy and poetry, and to me, basically exemplifies all those things. Art, culture, beauty, and things like that, right? The philosopher thinks, he understands, he's wise. The poet is beautiful, he writes beautiful things, he thinks, has beautiful thoughts, and that then reflects into like culture, art, etc., etc. The third one, that was the third one. The fourth one, the father. Every Khalsa is supposed to be a father. That means protective. That means, providing, classical archetypes of a father. And then the wizard. The wizard is the mystical aspect, the saint, the person that can see beyond the veil of the world, the person who has access to knowledge that is spiritual only and is not accessed by any books written in the material realm, seeing above the veil of everyday humdrum. That is the wizard. So the Khalsa has all 5 of those archetypes. Women, on the other hand, have the source. I'm still like trying to get the 5 because 5 just sounds really clean, but the 5 is the mother, the queen, the witch / sorceress, the what's the word I was looking for? The seductress, and the oracle. I kind of added that last one right now. So let's see how this goes. So the mother, women are to be nurturing. They are to it's not the sorcerer, the oracle, it's the teacher. That's the 5th one, the teacher. Okay, so women are nurturers, and they provide for the children. They provide for the man, emotional needs and all that kind of stuff. The mother is important in that regard. The queen, obviously, I think that's like pretty obvious, right? Women are queens to the Khalsa, saying kings and et cetera, et cetera. The seductress, so that's like the truly displaying of women femininity. Understanding that you are a feminine being in this realm after all, and that's part of the biology of man, and interacting with that, but not seductress in a fucked up like James Bond horror type of way, but more in the way of like the sensuality of understanding love and love making on a deep level, and bringing that out of a heart and soul of a man. Because if your man is constantly going to war, he needs like war is a crucible of fire. A woman needs to provide through that sensuality, through that seduction, water to tame that fire, to kind of bring you to a cooled place. The sorceress / witch is the equivalent to the wizard, understanding the intuition and above the worldly knowledge and seeing above the veil of reality, etc., etc. And then the 5th is the teacher. Is women are in charge of teaching the children, right? And they are the ones who take the children to the next level, and they're the ones who basically men and women bring, like basically the women get to decide the direction of generations by being the teachers, which is like a very super important role. Men craft the world, women craft the minds. You see what I'm saying? Because men are out there creating art, going to war, fighting each other, creating thoughts, ideas, and temples and stuff like that. But women are crafting the minds that do those things. Alexander the Great's mom, Mata Gujari, Mata Sundari, Mata Jito, Mata Sahib Kaur, all these women have had profound effects on their sons, their husbands, the male heirs, etc., and like the Khalsa as a full example. And so they are very important in that role. But now in today's modern day, Sikhi, like they've basically used, in a weird way, it was like Sikhi got on the feminism wave way before the West. And the feminism wave basically was like, whatever men do, women should do as well. Women wear pugs, so should men. No, not at all. We fucked up on philosophy of understanding what these words meant, like equality. Yeah, women historically did not wear the stars. Yes, they did not. And so we fucked up on these understandings. Like even like Santaji, and except for a few exceptions, like even in that Taksal, like nobody's wives in those pictures had pugs, bro. And even till this day, they don't wear the stars. Like, and that's like the Taksal, bro. Like they definitely would have just been like, yeah, this ain't this. We don't get down like this, buddy. And so you got to think about the fact that, Sikhi has been used, like they weaponized feminism against the women in the Panth, which has kind of destroyed the Panth and been hollowing it from the inside, because, on one end they're creating whores, and on the other end they're creating, like, if there was like an adoption of embracing the inner femininity, I think the Panth would look very different today, because the women would adore the men, the Khalsa, the Singhs, which would clear up so many other issues, like the fucking Gyanis, chopping the gutti off for some pussy. I think if women were made to feminize, to be in love with Sikhi in such a way, like imagine the same level of love that these Gyanins pretend to have, but they actually have it because they could also be feminine and sensual and loving and adore the the Khalsa. We don't have that. We don't have the women of the Panth that adore the Khalsa. This is a fucking amazing point that I'm making right now. That like, this is why sometimes you just workshop live, you know? And I think because of that, like, there's that fucking goofy ass video where that chick dropped, she's like, the first time you have sex, it was like an AKJ chick, is like, basically, she's like, the first time you have sex, it's like merging with Waiguru. And it's like, of course, like, even a chick that's like, all like, fucking crazy ass bug with the chuckers on, like, of course you would think like that, bro. Because again, like, women are, the biology of a woman is going to override her level of thinking that she thinks that she has. Yo, for a second, I was like, dude, am I even getting recorded right now? That would have been stress. I was like on a roll. And so I think like this stuff needs to happen from talking in the Panth with people that are like actually know what the fuck they're talking about, and then undoing the narrative, philosophizing, analyzing, introspection. All right, we got to 146. I think that's pretty good. I hope you guys like that. Join the Twitch, the stream, the dream, the team, the Discord, all that kind of stuff. I'll link the Discord in the bio. I'll link the Twitch should be also in the bio. And so, yeah, check it out. Hope you enjoyed it. And goodbye. All right, so we had originally canceled the video, but a few more things came to light, and I had to like talk about them. So I was looking for like a cover art for the thing, and so I came across this, and like, okay, like let's see what she has to say first off. Oh fuck, man, where's the volume?
I invited my friend Harmon, a sick woman, to chat with me about it. So, Harmon, my first question for you is one: women and their experiences with the faith. To discuss this topic properly,
what is this type of talking he's doing? Like, yo, just talk normally, bro.
I invited my friend Harmon, a sick woman, to chat with me about it. I get asked a lot. Surprise, anyway, is a personal.
I was 10 years old when I started wearing my Distad every single.
Yo. Some of that stuff I was saying. Just saying.
Day. When I was growing up,
I'm not saying anything, but if you know, you know.
Beautiful and inspiring.
10 years old?
Dude, this is so cringe.
That's amazing. Like any
perfect saint-like figure who can do no wrong, and they basically put me on a pedestal. Then there are people who don't understand why I wear the Dastad and assume that it is a form of oppression.
That's a really interesting. Do you find there
this is so cringe on so many levels, just like the way he's talking and stuff?
Difficulty in navigating with your identity?
The idea that because I wear a Dastad, I must be the perfect Sikh, because I am far from that. Sikhi is a journey and Sikh.
I think it is like very factual. Like after all this time, I've changed. Like women, I've said this before. Like women should be able to like switch between like sometimes they want to wear a pug or not, like covering your gaze like that. But like, I think it's kind of got to the point now where most of the time chicks just end up stop wearing a pug anyways, and Pratan in most examples show that women did not wear pugs.
Culture that does not have much room for women who choose to cover.
Yeah, I don't really buy that, dog. Like, where's her Namkor, bro? This chick right here. Like, look, in this video, she's clearly wearing a gatra, right? Now let's look at where she's at today on YouTube. I think she must have taken those dildo videos down because that shit was fucking insane. Like, I don't get this at all, bro. Like, this chick clearly has PCOS. The fuck is it called? PCOS. Yeah, is a common hormonal disorder in women of productive age affecting how they menstruate can make it hard to get pregnant. PCOS causing facial hair. Yes, PCOS can cause facial hair, also known as hirsutism. So it's not actually natural. Like these chicks that have fucking like facial hair on their face as Gyannerns, Like, you have PCOS, dog. It's not natural. It is technically natural because your body is fucked up. Like, you have hormonal issues in your body, and you have a hormonal disorder in your body, which is why you have facial hair, because you clearly are not supposed to have facial hair. Like, that's a pretty, like, established thing. And this chick had a fucking video, man, where she was, like, reviewing sex toys. Like, fuck, I don't want to type it in because it's so, like, fucking, it makes me cringe. Like, what is this video? Look, Karnamkor goes clay pigeon shooting. Why is this 18 plus? What? I am signed in, you lund. Dude, is it because of fucking ad blocker? Yeah, wow. Alright, hold up. Let's check on a side thing.
So my aim, no puns intended, that's a good one, would be just to get at least one clay pigeon shot. Okay. So your thing is to train me enough.
Fuck, there was that video. I don't remember where it was. I think she must have deleted it. Because I know for a fact that she had that. This is so, like, disturbing to look at, yo. I get shave the beard plus caloric deficit. Yeah, you're a menace, Uber Waffles. She's also using it like, look, man. Women are like a peacocking gender, right? So, like, that means, like, what is peacocking in peacocking? Okay, peacocking is the use of the actor using bold, attention-grabbing behavior or appearance to stand out from a crowd, often to attract attention or signal desirability. What does peacocking in woman look like? Bold fashion choices, exaggerated behavior, or confident body language. She might wear bright, flashy, revealing clothing or take extra time with her hair and makeup. Like, you know, I've never seen a gunner with a bad bug. I'll tell you that right now. Women tie hella fire bugs. Why? Because if that's the only, like, fashion instrument that they have, they go super ham on making it, like, super good looking. And I think most of these chicks are an example of that. Like, let's just look at some of these, like most of these women, either, like, their style of choice is from, like, straight and hung style, or, like, you know, you have this. You have, like, extreme PCOS. Like, what? I don't know what she's doing. And this is, like, supreme attention gathering. Yeah, because feminine gay boys are in her DMs being like, I'd fuck you because you look like a man. And I'm like, low-key, these guys are like low-key femboys. And no masculine man wants to be with a woman who looks like a man. They're not gay. It's pretty fucking simple. And the fact that she doesn't understand that, like, again, she has PCOS. Most of these women have PCOS. I'm not trying to sing. Women that are, like, public, I will say that about them. But, like, the private women, I will, like, just say it straight up, say, like, they have PCOS. Like, even these Gauri Singhniyan, bro, like, they were wild and out. A lot of these BBN need hormonal therapy, but people have convinced them that it's normal to have a beard. Actually pretty sad, to be honest. Yeah. And you made a point earlier, which you said that, girls getting laser hair removal for I think BBN should be able to shave. You said something about adorning yourselves. Woman can only be a woman if she adorns herself, and if you take that away, it's basically game over. Exactly. I don't think like these Gauri BBN, they do facial hair or whatever, and that's why, like, aesthetically, like, talking, like, Gauri Singhniyan look better than the average Punjabi Singhniyan, bro. I'm just gonna be honest, because they're, like, understand that keeping beauty hand in hand with your Sikhi is, like, part of the whole. It's part of the deal. This look is crazy, bro, because this looks like a Sulli to me 100%. Like, I don't understand what's happening with this look, to be honest. What's it called? I'm liking the feedback in the chat right now. It all goes back to women trying to be men. Feminism fucked women. It's not good for them. Yeah, I don't think so. I think feminism. Sikhi had already achieved what feminism wanted to achieve, which is equality in treatment. And then now they wanted to go into equality of like, if you're gonna do this anyway, like, I don't understand what's the point of wearing a pug, bro. Like, if case is such a beautiful thing, like, show your case off, right? Like, men, I think a pug serves a spirit, I think it serves a lot more of a physical function than just a spiritual one. I don't think just because you have a pug, you're more spiritual or some shit. Cultural Punjabis throughout India have all fucking had pugs and stuff, and they're fucking born dudes. I think it has more of a practical sense of, like, if you have long hair and you're going to war and stuff, like, you want to tie it up and keep it neat and clean, right? Because, like, the Vikings, for example, their hair ends up becoming matted and fucking dreadlocks and shit. Like, the way it just starts getting caught up, and, like, you need to have long ass ponytails, or, like, you shave the sides and stuff. Yeah, women. Yeah, it's a very, there's a Book of Watchers, right? Let's get into this. Let's get into some biblical shit right here. Book of Watchers. I need to chat GPT this for, like, ease of access. Book of Watchers summary plus what plus the gifts angels gave to women. Okay. So basically in the Book of Watchers, what happens is, as part of the book of what's up, Geert? The Book of Enoch, what happens is that as these watchers led by Semyaza descend from heaven to earth on Mount Hermon, and they want to start interacting with humans and fucking, like, women. They start getting obsessed with women, okay? And there was, like, I forgot how many watchers are sent down. Oh yeah, 200 angels. They're sent down from heaven, and then they start fucking the wives of the men, okay? And the men get fucking choked, okay? And so what the men are, like, literally gonna fight these angels, but then the angels are like, all right, we'll teach you stuff so you get off our back and let us take your daughters and your wives, all right? And in the early days, what they did was, and this is very interesting, you can find some sources on this, the men were so scared, they forced the women to cover their hair because they said that the angels coveted the hair of the women. Really trippy. And so what happened was the union of angels and human women produced the Nephilim, giant hybrid beings, or like godlike beings, or the heroes of old. It's said in the Genesis. And the Watchers teach humanity forbidden knowledges, art, sciences, and weaponry not meant for humans. This knowledge accelerates human sins and chaos. And then whatever, they get killed and shit. So this is a list of the stuff that was taught. Semyaza teaches enchantments and root cuttings, herbal magic, and sorcery to women. Azazel taught men how to make swords, knives, shields, mirrors, taught women beautification, cosmetics, and jewelry, leading to vanity and seduction, right? So I think there's a spectrum, right? Going too much of no vanity, no beautification leads to ugliness. Like, obviously, if you don't believe in beauty, and it's inner beauty only. No, there is such thing as physical beauty. Because if there was no such thing as physical beauty, why did the gurus make beautiful buildings? Why did the gurus make beautiful shastras? Why did the gurus wear beautiful jewelry, beautiful clothing, beautiful Guru Granth Sahib Sarups, beautiful poetry? If beauty doesn't matter and it's a within thing, why did the gurus make so much beautiful things? It doesn't make sense. So I think there's a spectrum. There's vanity and seduction where you're just trying too hard, which is fake tits, fake fucking lips and all that kind of stuff. But then there's the other of just being ugly, right? Okay. Baby, I need to read Prem Samarg. Yeah, for sure. And then so what ends up happening is fuck, man, my train of thought just got destroyed. Hold on, let me read what you're saying. Like, we need to come to terms that modern Sikh women have no aesthetic grace. Look at Chinese women in Hanfu, or Korean women in Hanbok, or Japanese women in Yukata. A Sikh woman hasn't looked peak since 1849. Not their fault, though. Agree, it's too. Bibi, I need to read Prem Samar Granth. Prem Samar was written in Missile Era Def. You think Prem Samar was written by 10G? Yeah, so it was probably, that's like up there, right? And so all these different angels give secrets to the men and women, right? To whatever, right? Like this guy was a fucking a dark lord, fucking the smiting of spirits and demons and abortive techniques. They wanted to smash like crazy. The text implies that women were specifically taught arts of beautification, enchantment, and seduction, leading to a corruption of purity in human society. These gifts are portrayed negatively as they cause vanity, lust, and spiritual downfall. Okay, so I can agree if you go too far, right? If you go too far in one direction, it's bad. If you go too not in that direction, it's also bad. The moderate middle is like what the whole Alicia Keys beauty thing that she was on. Alicia Keys on natural beauty. So basically, she was like she stopped wearing makeup and all this kind of stuff, and she did like just bare minimum stuff, right? And like she was still beautiful. Like there's still a beauty that she has, because beauty isn't like all the drawing and the makeup you do on your face. It is like a inner body language and just like a look that you have with your face that can really like give you what beauty is, right? So she has long gaze. Like all of it is beautiful. Long gaze. You don't have to try too hard with makeup and stuff. But just going completely like, no, I'm not going to give a fuck. Cover my gaze, bushy eyebrows, beard as a chick. Like, what is the Panth doing? Satnam Singh puts it on the Anand Pur Darbar, but the context sounds so Misalera. I would agree with you. It sounds very Misalera too. But the thing is like, I don't know, man. It's
because of their faith. I feel like I'm always
like, it's like if you're going to do your eyebrows to some extent, there's like a way Gyanans do their eyebrows, which is like not doing their eyebrows, like threading it, but like technically, like I've known, like I forgot this one chick told me the technique about it. And then like you're going to wear eyelashes and stuff like that. Like,
what?
Fuck, I can't watch this because this guy's commentary, man. So I think like we've basically just gotten to a point where, women aren't given the opportunity to be adoration figures, like have this beauty and all this stuff, which has basically then just caused them to inwardly die and spiral. Like a girl like Harnam Kaur is basically thinking every day, I'm so righteous because I'm not cutting my hair. But to basically output that feeling, I'm going to start becoming a hooer and like talking about sex toys on the fucking, on YouTube. Like I wonder if I can find that on Google. Okay, here's the video. Harnam Kaur, sex toys and sensual play featuring SH Women's Store. She's deleted the video. It doesn't exist anymore. So if I click the link, it's unavailable. So she did private it, but it did exist at some point. And now we have it on record on the E Squared pod. All right, new video alert. Check it out. See my sex toys. Feel free to subscribe. Like what? 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 This is just so crazy, dude.
Yo, it's the same fucking energy. That's it. If you get upset.
Yeah, this guy talked about it.
And
like, bruh, what the fook, mate? What the fook is this, dude?
Just listen and the drink, but give a fuck.
Like, why are you a sick at this point, dude? You're clearly a degenerate, man. And I think it's because she's doing a peacocking for attention, like in a sea of like mediocrity, because you're kind of like not, even if you didn't have the beard and all that, you wouldn't be considered attractive. No offense, because you're chubby and you have a fucking horrible build. And so you have to basically act really different and get the attention by then doing this stuff. Like she probably pops off in like fucking weird fucked up sex cults and shit, if we're going to be like really real about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that the Khalsa we need to like basically go back to tell our women like it's okay. Bugs are not necessary to be a proper Sikh. Women, because women can't even uphold that standard. I've not seen it happen, because most of the examples are either like I'll tell you, these chicks are demonic, bro. I've heard Gyanans talk about wanting to be gangbanged. Yes. Like fucking for real, dude. Like they're demonic, man. Because what ends up happening is it's a human psychological thing. It's kind of like the Catholic girl stuff. Yeah, but you shouldn't be shaving, waxing your body hair regardless as a sick. I think again, like as a man, maybe no, I don't know. I've kind of been on the opinion that only men should not wax or shave their body hair, but I don't see like if that's applicable to women or not, because then because isn't there like a thing where Nahang say like women, like hair on a head for a woman is the only thing you shouldn't touch, but everything else is kind of like fair game? Like I've kind of heard that I've heard that line of thinking. Fuck, I just lost my train of thought though about what I was gonna say before. So if you were listening, I'm so sorry, viewers. Fuck, I was gonna say that yo, does somebody remember what I was about to say? Again, I think the Khalsa needs to come back in a way to basically allow women to become beautiful again, and not be. Oh yeah, most women have not been able to. Oh, these fucking wild chicks, yeah. So like, the psychology, what ends up happening is these women have these pent up feelings inside, especially after puberty, when the biology starts kicking in. You want to make babies, you're getting your period and you're ovulating, and like if you've had a girlfriend, you know there's certain times where she's fucking way more horny in the month. These chicks cannot pray the horny away. It's gonna hit you like a fucking truck, man. Like there's nothing you can do. And like, you know, if you dated a girl, you know she wants to link and she doesn't care about anything else. Her mind is just like horny. Chanakya talks about it. You know, the Taksha talks about these philosophical and psychological texts, bro. Like there was something I learned about a long time ago, that when women can say that external stimuli and stuff will not arouse them. They say it, but there was like a psychological experiment that was done where they took these women and men and they exposed them to psychological stimuli, like basically like porn. And then the men would get hard and whatever, and they were like, yeah, I'm horny. The women would say I'm not horny, but when they were checking all their levels and like fucking their heartbeat, their pulse, you know, if they were like getting wet and stuff, they were. So they would say nah, but they were. And so these women, these Genderns who are like wild and out, they can't talk to their other girlfriends about it because of fear of shame, because some chicks on a spectrum might be super like, no, you know, I'm saving myself and I'm not gonna do anything and blah blah blah. Like, because like I've known chicks that were like in AKJ crews, like let's put it this way, I knew two chicks, both Genderns, they were friends with each other, both were hooers, but they had never they were like best friends, but they never talked to each other about it. So it's basically like a lonely road that these chicks have to go down. And then what ends up happening is because pornography is pretty fucking wild and women like really fucked up fantasies and shit, like Angur fantasies and gangbang fantasies, they start watching really violent porn. And so these Genderns who have no ability to express their sexuality in a way that's accepted in the Sikh community in the Panth end up going down in these personal demonic routes and roads where they're just metastasizing and basically like hollowing themselves out into these crazy world of fantasy and pleasure because they were never able to fully properly like deal with it in other ways. Because I see Genderns that are such demons, and I see chicks that had all the ability to date whoever they want. You know, parents don't care. Parents would even like dissies that even allow the dude to come over, and they're just regular ass chicks. They never went down this road of becoming like insane level demons. Okay, so that was like a 22-minute rant on that, and now we're officially done the pod. Okay, now we're just gonna switch back to the stream. LOL. All right, peace. Hope you liked it.